documentation, part 1. Now, family, remember, I got documents. I do not have receipts, because this man is open with his sexual preferences, okay, and his sexual life. So this is my thing, right? He's gonna basically on this video tell you how he got into, the so-called pornographic industry, okay? So I'm gonna be playing this now. And by the way, I will be pausing the video every so often to put in, some commentary that I feel, about what he's talking about. Okay, so just deal with it. Okay.
21. I was basically, released. Couldn't go back to Sacramento as one of my parole conditions. So I had met a cat up in YA that was from LA, and so I ended up hooking up with him, and we were going to get a spot together apartment. And we had discussed while we were in YA about getting into the porn game. So I'm like, shit, 18, you ain't been around no females. You're looking at all these teen books in prison. So I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna get out and be a porn star. So I ended up moving to Southern California.
Or hurt, you could have just got out and just got laid. I mean, like, how hard is that? I mean, there is something called escorts. There is something called prostitutes. Now, with prostitutes, you're taking a chance. You're also taking a chance with escorts. I mean, I don't see the difference. In the porn industry, I mean, it's the same shit. Like, you're just effing people that you think is clean. So, I mean, you should have just went and just got laid, So, I mean, I don't know why you would need to go to the porn industry. I mean, okay, I guess you wanted to get paid too while doing it. So, okay, let's just go.
Yeah, and I hooked up with him, and I get out here, and I get a job as a bouncer at a club, and then I start looking to try to figure out how I can get into the porn industry. And this is pre-internet, so wasn't no Google, wasn't no, Craigslist, Backpage, none of that. And there was LA Weekly. So I ended up, looking up in LA Weekly, and I came across an ad, and I eventually got into the porn game, and that was like my hustle, where I was doing bouncing stuff, like kind of security at clubs, and then I was doing porn. And the porn industry back then was like the golden era, man. But I mean, it wasn't no pay. They was only paying guys $100, $150, $200 bucks. But being the fact that I hadn't been around women in so long, and I was playing catch up, get into the industry, and this was 94. Get into the industry in 94. I mean, shit, it was like, you're filming at these big houses. They had the big productions back then. Back then the AVN was still major. I mean, there was like, the lines of people going to see the porn girls. It was still glamorous, it was almost like a real production. They had, costumes, makeup, and it was just a lot of stuff. And then, and then you had to work your way in, because, you had different tiers. You had Elite, which, they had the major productions, and they were still shooting on the big video cameras, the old school stuff. And, that was a certain level, and you had to know people, and they only let so many blacks have sex with so many white girls.
Oh, so there are also races in the porn industry, but it didn't stop you, though, did it? It's interesting how this happens. Like, niggas, even when they get into porn, they want to screw white bimbos, okay? And that white man really ain't having it that much, but he'll throw in some skanks, some pieces of their white trash from their community to do so, okay? And brothers like this will screw them, because I'm starting to think niggas is desperate. Some of you brothers in our community are so fucking, as a matter of fact, I don't even think I should call y'all brothers, because y'all are so fucking desperate, for trash. And you will eat up the white man's garbage. Okay? You will eat the white man's garbage up. The stuff he throws away, you will eat it. Because you nasty. You're freak nasty. Okay? And you ain't getting no respect from me. Fuck that. Fuck that. Y'all niggas ain't getting no respect from me who does this shit. Okay? You're too deviant. You know what I mean? You're too much of a sexual deviant. You need to get some help, dude. Niggas like this need to get help. For real.
And you had the black stuff, which was lowballed, and the blacks weren't really getting paid.
Oh.
Nothing that you'd be putting in work, but
okay, and they lowball niggas in the porn industry, but you talk about getting in it though, all the time. So I mean, shouldn't they not get in the porn industry? You know, shouldn't they just do something more, you know, wholesome?
You know, you could barely make it. I mean, you know, it wasn't there was a handful of people that were able to actually live as far as males off the porn game, but it was just, the money was a lot different. It was a lot different back then, and, you know, the whole industry was it wasn't as streamlined, and so people's careers back then could last a lot longer, and you had actual stars that were looked at as stars in the porn game. It wasn't a bad time for me. I mean, shit, I had fun, man. I mean, you know, dudes who, you know, complain about like, dude, that's every man's fantasy. I mean, you look at teen books and...
Hold up, bro. First of all, let me tell you something. It is not all men's fantasies to be sleeping with sluts, skanks, and hoes. Okay? That's your fantasy, okay? Alright, that's your final fantasy. Ain't nobody trying to sleep with no skank ass hoes that ain't got no respect for themselves. First of all, I don't sleep with hoes and skanks. I just don't. But maybe some of you brothers do. You know what I mean? Hey, write it down inside the comment section. Do you sleep with skanky ass hoes? I know I don't. I have respect for myself. I have fucking morals. Okay? I'm not going to go sleep with any and everybody. That's just disgusting. And with all these diseases out here, these STDs, nigga, you got me chopped. You got me motherfucking cut up like a victim on a fucking, on a goddamn, on a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type film. For real. You got me so chopped the fuck up. Okay? Because I can't see myself doing any of the stuff that you've done. Okay? I can't see me doing any of that. I can't just do these oddities. They're too odd for me. You know what I mean? I'm just not that type of person. But he can speak for himself. And all you men who think like this, brother, y'all can speak for yourselves. So let's just go on. They have women and all this stuff and enjoy that.
They have women and all this stuff and enjoy that. I mean, it was something I had a good time doing, but it wasn't something I knew that was going to pay all my bills at the time because, you know, the
producers were making money. Oh, okay. I think this is the part when he starts advertising the porn industry, and I'm not going to actually play that part, so fuck all that. I'm getting straight to where he starts talking about how he got into the drug, you know, into drug dealing. So let's go.
And, you know, if you got wood problems, they're like, hey, man, you all right? You all right? And they ready to step in, so they got backup. So if you go to the set and they got 2 or 3 dudes in the cut, you know that they hanging out because they trying to get that paycheck if you can't perform. And once it gets out that you can't perform once, then people might be reluctant to book you for another shoot, which now affects your pay.
So this nigga, right? And I'm gonna tell you about that part. That part was basically saying that they got men. These nasty ass cocker demons. These motherfuckers got dudes in the back ready to have sex with these other women. So they just pumping and just sucking and licking and plucking and all types of sick shit. What dudes? They got back up dudes? That's nasty. Ew. So y'all just getting just freaking pre-cum and all types of sick shit, all just nasty, just swabbing, spit, and kissing, and ew, you men are disgusting. You people at the porn industry are nasty. You're nasty.
Sure, man, and it's like I said, it'd be, on the average, you're looking at 6 people in the room while you're trying to get busy, not including the actors. I did that from 94, 95, and then, the cat I was out there with, I think he got into drugs, so I ended up moving back up to Northern California and moved my mom. They had moved back at this point to the Bay Area and Santa Rosa area, so I moved back with her, left the porn game, and went back to college. And then I figured, what the hell, I'll try college. I still didn't have no direction, so
that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So you went from going to school to going to the porn industry and then going to college. Why didn't you just, I don't know, go to school, get a job? Because at the time, because I'm pretty sure at his time, they was hiring people way younger than fucking 18 years old. Okay? I think this man could have got hired at the age of 14. Okay? Around his time. Because if he grew up in my mother's time, yeah, he could have got a job at like 14, I think around 13 too. But instead of doing that, this dude decided to go into the porn industry and then go to college. Instead of going to school, having a job so he can pay off college, and then going to college, he went to the porn industry, then went to college. That's some weird shit. Like, you skipped college to go to the porn industry. Okay, that's a little off, but okay, you don't have to always go. I guess you can't always go 1, 2, 3. No, you just got to go 1, 3, then come back to 2. That's a little weird, but okay. That's a weird order.
I went to try college and was studying for my AA, and then I ended up getting into the weed game. I met a dude up there who had a weed plug. So I kind of got into slinging weed, and that deterred me once again from college back into the streets.
Okay, let me say something about this that I have to say about this man. I don't have a problem with that, believe it or not. I don't have a problem with black men selling weed. Now, let me tell y'all something. I think that any black man selling weed, I can get at a pass. I don't care. It's just an herb. It's not something that will kill you. You know what I mean? Not like tobacco, nicotine and shit like that. Me personally, he gets a pass for that. All black men get a pass for selling weed. Because look. I know they sit back and say, the white man sits back and say, oh, well, you can't sell weed because it's a drug. No, bitch, it's a fucking herb, you silly cracker. But they'll sit back and say that because they don't want you to, use stuff like herbs, you know what I mean, to make yourself feel better. These disgusting, evil demon crackers, they want you to kill yourself with their cigarettes. You know what I mean? They want you to kill yourself with their opioids. They want you to kill yourself with whatever narcotic they give you. So I'm cool with these drugs. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who just sell weed, as long as it's pure and is not laced, as long as the drug, the weed is pure and not laced, I'm okay with you selling weed. As far as I'm concerned, you are a street pharmaceutical business worker, okay? Fuck what they be saying about these people up in CVS and ShopRite and shit like that, where they go behind the little counter and get the drug, the pharmacist. If the people on the corner who selling weed is a drug dealer, then you bitches in your long ass white coats are drug dealers too. Your motherfucking doctor is a drug dealer, okay? And with these opioids out here, with these doctors giving opioids to all these white people, oh, they're the main drug dealers. So let's go on.
Back then, we right by Humboldt. My homeboy had a brother who went to Humboldt State. He had a plug, and I'm still on parole from YA, and he would, basically he allowed me he fronted me some weed, and I told him I paid back, and I gave him the pink slip to my car, and I eventually built his trust up, And then pretty soon I was running like, 2 or 3 pounds of weed up to Sacramento every week. And I started hustling the weed, and that was cracking. And then it got to a point where I'm making pretty good money. And then my mom gets suspicious, so, I decided to move out because I don't want to cause no drama. And then I moved back to Sacramento, and then I get full-blown back into the game, from weed to slinging meth to...
I hope that you was slinging that meth to them cockazoids, because I have a problem with that. I think that drug dealers who try to sell meth and crack and cocaine and heroin and all that shit to our people, I feel that you are a fucking problem. I feel that you, truth be told, should be destroyed. So if a cop was to shoot a drug dealer, it really wouldn't hurt me. But the cops keep killing innocent people. Now, killing fucking people who sell meth and crack and shit, bye, farewell. You shouldn't be selling your people that shit anyway. You just want to sell that shit because you're selfish. You want to sell that fucking type of drug because you're greedy. You want it to be all handy-dandy. You want to be like motherfucking Beanie Single is all good now. I'm out the hood now type nigga. Because, my nigga, we all want to get out the hood. Not just Herc. No, this is to all drug dealers. Bitch, we all want to get out of the hood. Ain't nothing really good there. I mean, well, I wouldn't say everyone there isn't good, but, there's not really any options in the hood. Not many, at least. But I have a problem with drug dealers, and I'm going to make a video about drug dealers, so stay tuned for that, family. So let's move on.
Like in code to doing whatever. And so I'm back into the game, doing street shit. And, it's just a path leading to nowhere. So I did that for a while. And, I eventually knew I had to get out of Sacramento. So, it came a point where I kind of did that for a while and then decided to turn it over to my little brother. And I went back to L.A.
Okay, so now your little brother that you mentioned was like 9 when you went to juvenile hall the first time.
Yeah.
He's in the game now.
He's in the game. He's like probably 5 years younger than me, but always kind of wants to be like me. And I used to always try to tough him up, He was a little knucklehead, because he always did stupid shit, but I used to always try to like lace him up. And then, when I moved to Sacramento, he was out there doing bad, working at a Boston market. So I like, we had kind of had a falling out, but I seen him, I'm like, dude, he's like, man, you think you can help me out, blah, blah, blah. So I put him in the game and eventually got him rolling, and he started making money. So he got his own spot. We got a trap house. He making money. I'm kind of like the muscle. If he had any problems, I regulate, and shit started popping off. So I came to a point where I felt like I needed to transition out of there, and I had met the female and eventually got engaged. So I'm like, let me move out.
Okay, first of all, he just said he got his brother in the game, basically in, I guess, the drug game. First of all, my brother would have asked me to put him on. I would have told that nigga, if you don't get the fuck out of my face talking that dumbass shit, no, my nigga, you can't get into this motherfucking game. And if I ever see you in this game, I'm gonna break your motherfucking bones, nigga. Now, this is what I can do. I can spot you a couple thousands. Okay? I can do that. But I can't pitch you on no damn drug game. You can get killed out here. Or robbed. Either or. That's the type of shit that happens in these streets. But instead of him doing that, he decided, I'm going to help you get in on drug selling. Fool move. That you want us to trust you around our kids that you couldn't even help your own baby brother. Shame on you, Herc. I'm sorry, Mr. Timmons.
Sacramento and see if I can get back to LA and try to get into acting and some other stuff because I knew Sacramento.
Okay, well, family, you know what? That's basically the end of that. So, I guess I'll see you in document number 2. So stay tuned.